All right, everyone. Welcome back to Much Music. Today we have our top 10 artists of the decade. No, I'm just kidding. You all read the title. You saw the thumbnail. Today we have our top 10 power rankings for the 2021 season for the Rad League. We're just going to get right into it. At number one, they held the number one spot last year. I'm giving them the number one spot again this year. Jake's Jabronis. Correction. Jake's Jabronis just went through a name change. They're now transitioning just to the Jabronis. They're quote unquote taking the Jake out of the Jabronis. So the reason I'm going back to back number one spots here for the Jabronis, I mean, you look at their keepers, they got CMC and AJ Brown. Extremely hard to beat that. And not only do they have those two, they also have the number one draft pick, looking at what some people are dubbing as either Nick Chubb or Jonathan Taylor. So it's looking like the Jabronis are walking away with another top running back to start their season. But, I mean, last year were in this same boat. They had Devontae Adams, CMC, and Ezekiel Elliott. They came last place in the league. Does part of me want to rank them number one again to put that curse on them and see them come 10th again? I mean, yeah, I'm not going to lie. That's part of my motive. So we'll see what happens for the Jabronis. Up at number two, we have our defending champion, our champion 3 of the 6 years, figured out, managed by my own brother, Michael Belton. And he's entering the season with Dalvin Cook as his running back keeper and either Stephon Diggs or DeAndre Hopkins as his wide receiver keeper. You know, I would put FIO as the number one ranked team going to season, but they're holding that number 10 pick. I mean, it's a good spot if you like back to back, but compared to our previous mention, CMC, AJ Brown, and number one pick, I just can't put them above that team. Now this is where it starts to get interesting. This is where we kind of may have some discrepancies around the league, some disagreements. But I feel like those previous two are pretty much a lock in most people's minds. Our third team is J-Dog's Jackrabbits. Jason, my man, with a solid keeper core of Alvin Kamara and DK Metcalf. I mean, those are two game breakers. I'm not going to lie. Those are two guys who they're getting that 40-yard touchdown at any point in the game, which that scares you. That scares you when you see those names on Yahoo when you're playing the Jackrabbits. So they're holding the 8th pick in this year's draft. Not too great, but that keeper duo, a little bit envious of that. Coming in at number 4, I am going with myself. I am going with ALL. Andy's Love Life. We've got, you already know, Cam Akers and Devontae Adams as our keepers. We're expecting Akers to take a massive leap this year in one of the best offenses in the league. You know what? And I would be ranking myself higher if Aaron Rodgers was back with the frickin' Green Bay Packers, but he isn't yet, so some people are a little worried, including myself, about Devontae Adams. I mean, if Rodgers was there, I might have us at the number one spot, to be honest. We're holding the number 2 pick, so we're coming away with someone good. I don't want to give any spoilers, but we're coming away with someone good for sure. 2 strong keepers, so that's why I have us slot at number 4. Coming at number 5, the Tinker Soldiers, the 2019 Rad League champion Tinker Soldiers, with their continued keeper core of Aaron Jones and Tyreek Hill. Now, there are some rumors that they may be looking elsewhere outside of Aaron Jones due to the Aaron Rodgers situation. Some people are saying Ezekiel Elliott. Some people are saying Miles Sanders. You never know. But they're saying they're loyal to Aaron Jones. Do I agree with that? I'm not too sure. Nonetheless, though, strong keepers. Tyreek Hill, one of the biggest threats at any point in the game in the entire league. So you got to give them their respects. They're my number 5 team. Coming at number 6, we have the Benchwarmers. Benchwarmers, they've been to back-to-back championships. They're riding Derrick Henry once again. I mean, hard not to. The guy's just a freak of nature. And then coming in as their projected Yeah, keep in mind all these keepers I'm spouting, these are all projected. Nothing's final, but 99% of these are final, I'm gonna say. 92 maybe. Well, yeah, their wide receiver keeper Julio Jones is who it is looking like. So they're doubling down on the Tennessee Titans. Maybe we'll look for them to go Ryan Tannehill at some point in the draft. Just create that stack. So yeah, not too much to say about the bench warmers. Do I think they're a threat to go back to the finals again? Not really. Do I think they got extremely lucky in making it there last year? Yes. So yeah, but you know what? Derrick Henry can take a team there, so that's why I still have them in the sixth spot in that final playoff spot. Coming at number 7, the Big Show. Traditionally one of the top teams in this league in the regular season. We've yet to see them win a championship yet. They are keeping, looks like, Antonio Gibson and Calvin Ridley. 2 young guys, 2 great keepers, like, I'm not going to lie. He's also got the 7th overall draft pick. And, this might have been the hardest team to grade. I mean, when I look at those keepers, I want to put Antonio Gibson and Calvin Ridley above Derrick Henry and Julio Jones, just because I like those names better. Those are sexy names. But then you look at Derrick Henry, and I remember what he did to me in not only my only Rad League Finals appearance, but in my quest to make the playoffs last year towards the final stretch of the season. I mean, he buried me. This guy is just, you never know when he's going to get 3 goal line touchdowns in the second half of the game, or the first half of the game even. So you never know. 8th team, EMG, Eat My Grit. The combination of Saquon Barkley, Mike Evans, and the 4th overall draft pick. Saquon Barkley, had one of the best rookie seasons of running back ever. Fortunately, he got hurt last year, whether it was Achilles or ACL. I don't even remember, something like that though. Something that ended his season. So EMG is looking for him to come back big. Do I think EMG has what it takes to make a run this year and maybe bring home their second chip? No, not even close. Not for a second do I think EMG is going back to the chip. Is this because they beat me in the finals a couple years ago? No, it's really not. I just don't think they're good. I don't think their management's in line. I don't think their front office is dedicated enough. Mike Evans, yes, he's good in a standard league. He's got Tom Brady throwing him touchdowns left and right. But what happens when Chris Godwin's healthy? What happens when AB didn't sit out for half the year? What happens when Gronk didn't just come in off partying at the beach the year before? I mean, now he's had a full off season, so a lot of weapons in that offense. So we'll see what happens there. I got 2 teams left. What do you know? Our 9th and 10th teams, the expansion teams from a couple years ago, they're still lagging behind here at the bottom. I mean, you hate to see it, but you also love to see it at the same time, though. That's the thing. So, starting off, we're gonna go at the bottom first. Our 10th ranked team, the Vacuum Cleaners, with their keeper combination, James Robinson. Yes, you heard that correctly, and Michael Thomas, plus the 3rd overall pick, which they traded up for from the Tinker Soldiers right after the draft lottery. It wouldn't be a bad keeper squad, but obviously you see Travis Etienne getting 1st round draft capital to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So James Robinson, is he a goal line back? Is he a first down back? Is he a handcuff? No one knows with this guy, but he's not putting up 1,200 yards and getting a 90% running back share of that running back room this year. I'll tell you that for free. So that leaves greatest show on paper as our 9th ranked team, CEH, Amari Cooper, and the 5th overall draft pick. And this is actually a sneaky team to me. I like CEH. I like Amari Cooper. I think both these guys have high ceilings, league winning upside. Do I think greatest show on paper has what it takes? That's yet to be proven. Looking at some of these keepers, if this was purely based on keywords, I might be putting CEH and Amari Cooper a little bit up the rankings, but greatest show on paper, they haven't made the playoffs yet. They haven't shown us winning football yet, so for now they're going to remain as that ninth team battling the basement with the vacuum cleaners. So we'll see if they can manage to get out this year, see if maybe they make a run for the playoffs. Nothing against any of these teams. This is just my straight up honest opinion. Anyways, now we're gonna jump into a little interview we have scheduled with none other the GM manager of the vacuum cleaners, Zach McLennan. He's kind enough to jump on for a quick chat about what his season's looking like, how he feels about his keepers and what his vibe going into the season is about the rest of the league. So we'll get that going and enjoy it in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That's set to begin. Welcome in, Zachary Daiquiri McLennan, GM, owner, player of the vacuum cleaners of the Rad League. Zach, you know why you're here. You're our 10th ranked team. You're the last ranked team headed into 2021. What kind of defense or rebuttal do you have for your ranking?
I'd like to start by saying it's extremely disrespectful to our franchise, not only the head office, but the players a part of the team.
The players you haven't drafted yet, that's who you're referring to?
Well, the ones I haven't drafted and the ones that are already on the squad, 2 solid players, Michael Thomas and James Robinson. James Robinson, who set NFL records for undrafted rookies, rushing over 1,000 yards last year. And Michael Thomas, who's going to be a top 5 receiver this year.
Okay, fair enough. Two proven players, but a lot of question marks for both these players going in. So this is your 3rd year in the league now. It's your 3rd year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's your first time in the playoffs last year. What did that teach you about fantasy football? I mean, that must have been a whirlwind experience. Barely scraping in last seed. Were you the last seed? Yeah. Almost pulling off an upset, but that had to have been a big learning experience for you.
Yeah. I learned that winning now matters. So don't just pick up a bunch of injured players that are supposed to come back in 3-4 weeks or something. Because I don't think I had a fully healthy team at any point during the season. Mm-hmm. I also learned that James Conner sucks at football. And that, at some point Will Fuller's season will end. So
yeah,
I did learn that.
There week 19, whatever the NFL ends this year, he's not going to be there.
No, he's going to suck this year on Miami. Unless the other managers are watching, then Will Fuller's going to be great. Be sure to reach for him in the 2nd round or something like that. That'd be great. But I also learned that Michael Thomas can be incredibly injured and still be an elite wide receiver with a tight end at quarterback.
Really?
I've got some.
How many TDs did he get though last year?
He got 0 TDs.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I just forgot.
If you look at these, his last 4 weeks played before he eventually ended his season, ignoring the Denver game because that was a bit of a crapshoot, as Denver had a wide receiver at QB and the Saints had
who I started in my flex. I started Kendall Hinton.
And how'd that go?
Negative points. Thought I was changing the league for a second.
So in those last 3 weeks, if you don't count the Denver game, Michael Thomas had 12 targets, 9 receptions, 104 yards. 11 targets, 9 receptions, 105 yards. 8 targets, 8 receptions, 84 yards. So that's a hobbled Michael Thomas.
A lot of 8s in there.
With a QB who really wasn't a QB. But now he's got,
he's QB this year. I mean,
well, he's got a full off season to prepare now. He doesn't have Drew Brees in the way, and hopefully we see Jameis Winston slinging the ball. He was able to support 2 top wide receivers back in his Buccaneers days, because it really doesn't matter for fantasy if Jameis Winston is throwing 30 interceptions a year. He's also throwing 30 touchdowns. and letting the ball fly. So I think Michael Thomas, Sanders is gone. It's basically just him. I don't see Traquan Smith as much of a threat. And whether it's Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston at the helm, Michael Thomas is going to be a top 5 wide receiver. And, I'm going to this year with a lot more research or experience, actually knowing who the players I'm drafting are. And I think we saw by my trades last year that I'm one of the more elite general managers in this
You're an
league.
active manager for sure. So for anyone watching who doesn't know, what comes behind the name the vacuum cleaners that you go by? Well, that's with 2 U's.
Well, my name's Zach. And, it was probably after a Saturday night at the student house. I was vacuuming and someone called me Zacuum, and now, and then that turned into Cume, and now I'm the vacuum cleaners. And storied franchise in the Rad League.
Looking to write the story still, though.
Yeah, in the making. Yeah. Still going to get a chip before ALL and the big show.
Call it the big show. Okay, one last question then before we go. You know the keepers, or you know the majority of the keepers around the league. What teams are you maybe a little worried about in terms of being front runners, and are there any teams you've just written off? They're non-threats this year.
There's no teams to write off, really. Anyone can make it far. I think we saw that last year with the bench warmers relying on a kneeless Todd Gurley to stumble into the end zone at least once or twice a week, and a 54-year-old Adam Thielen to catch 1 or 2 touchdowns every week. So any manager can make a winning squad even by accident. So no teams to write off right now. But if the Tinker Soldiers just keep Aaron Jones, then I'm a bit worried about the leader of that squad.
Okay. So what about the front runners? Any teams that you think are maybe looking like playoff locks already, or looking like they could have a shot to make a run based off their keeper situation, draft stock, manager experience?
I think ALLs. I think you're going to make a push this year. I think it's impossible to
be going around the league a little bit.
Like, it's impossible to write off. Figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, 3-time champ. You can't.
Three-time champs. Even though they take the biggest off season out of anyone in the league, and almost do no draft prep, they seem to just pick the right players. And I think, not worried about EMG.
No one's worried about EMG.
No, they're usually out to lunch or trying to teach some 14-year-old how to spell. So I'm not too worried about. Yeah, I think those are probably my. I think the bench warmer finals run comes to an end this year. I think the Tinker Soldiers will tinker a little too much. And I think it'll probably be, I'm calling it now. It'll be Andy's Love Life, Figure It Out, or Vacuum Cleaners Championship this year.
All right. Well, we heard it there. Zach, we want to thank you on behalf of the channel and all of our fans for coming on. I'm sure we'll get you on at some point again during the season. And thanks for giving us your predictions on the 2021 season.
Cheers.